Routine by Jane Jeffs. Alice couldn't complain about her life. She wanted to, but few people were willing to listen. It wasn't that her life was terrible. It was just a constant blur of sounds and nothing more. The thumping of footsteps on the stairs to the tube, the screeching of the train's brakes, the rhythmic thudding of the wheels, the beeping of the lift, the pounding of the staples, and the sizzling of papers, over and over again. Day after day, her life slipped through her fingers, thump, screech, thud, beep, pound, sizzle, with nothing to be proud of or even look forward to. And the sounds grew louder with each passing year, month, week, and day. And then, one day, the thumps of footsteps entering the tube faded as she spotted an unfinished painting on the wall. It was of a hunched woman, holding her hands dejectedly, her face barely visible. Alice stood there mesmerized as people streamed past her. The painter had captured the emotion Alice felt every day, pure desperation. Alice had no friends to talk to, no boyfriend, and her family was miles away. She was a copy and paste specialist, and although they raved about her Excel skills, she felt like the most useless person in the world, trading her time for something that didn't matter 2 days after it was done. Finally, there was someone who looked the way she felt. She wanted to reach out and hug the woman in the painting. The screeching sound of the arriving train made her jump. She spun around and sprinted down the stairs, barely catching the train, and the sounds returned. Thump, screech, thud. But her mind was restless. All she could think of was the woman in the painting. Seeing her dejected face, Alice realized the trap she'd fallen into. And for what? Money to travel to an office she didn't like, and an overpriced flat she spent little time in. Was this really what life would be like for the next 40 years? She shuddered at the thought and looked at the illuminated station. Just as the door closed and the train started moving, she realized she had just missed her stop. Annoyed, she took another stop and walked through a dog park back to the office. Suddenly, a stick landed at her feet. She froze and looked down at it. In the background, she heard a cry of, "Excuse me!" A dog sprang from the side and stopped in front of her, wagging its tail and prancing in place. She lifted the stick, and the dog jumped back, tense and ready to bounce. Unable to keep a straight face, she threw the stick, watching as the dog sprinted after it and then carried it back to its master. It made her day, or at least the next few minutes. All the joy of the dog park vanished as she sat behind her desk and looked around at her colleagues, their eyes glued to the screens. She wanted to jump up and shout, "Who are you doing this for? Nobody will remember your work next week." She tried to concentrate on her work but could only think about her journey home. When her time was up, she sprinted outside and walked through the park to the tube station, enjoying the birds chirping and the dogs barking. The sound of the train's wheels was like music to her ears, bringing her closer to the painting she couldn't get enough of. But when the escalator brought her close enough, her heart sank. The painting had changed. The woman was no longer dejected and alone. She was holding and comforting a child. The whole atmosphere had changed. Alice was sure the painter, who was still at the painting finishing the boy's hair, had repainted the face, or what little she could see of it. Angry and feeling betrayed, Alice stomped over to the painter and stopped by her with a loud, "Is this really it?" The painter looked at her bug-eyed. "I loved the painting before," Alice said, on the verge of tears. She hated how emotional she felt, but she couldn't help it. "Why did you have to change it?" "Change it?" the painter asked, frowning at the painting. "I didn't change anything. I wanted the painting to look like this from the start, but I needed the base color to dry before I added the child. She looked so sad and dejected before. Why did you change her expression?" "I didn't. Really. I painted the woman first and then let it dry. Only her circumstances changed. Alice wanted to thump her foot, but she fought the urge. She folded her arms and glared at the painting. She had felt so close to the woman in the painting before, but how could she relate to her now? "Are you all right?" the painter asked in a worried voice. She put the brush down and came closer. Alice jerked her head in a nod. "I'm sorry if the painting is a let down. It wasn't meant to be. But if you want, I could paint you the same picture with just a woman, and maybe buy you a cup of coffee so we can talk about it." Alice blushed. "I just felt like someone out there might feel the same way," she murmured. "Like life isn't worth all the trouble." "Oh, there's a lot of people who feel that way. I used to. I'm Claire, by the way." She held out her hand to Alice. "Can I buy you that coffee? I have an hour before everything is dry enough for any adjustments." Feeling foolish for her outburst, Alice took the hand and nodded. "I'm buying, though," she said.